Bigfoot. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is one of the most famous cryptids in the world. Bigfoot is often described as a tall, ape-like creature that lives deep in the forests of North America. People who have claimed to have seen Bigfoot describe it as standing between 7 and 10 feet tall, covered in thick, dark fur, and walking upright like a human. Its large footprints, often measuring over 16 inches long, have been found in areas where sightings have been reported. Some say it gives off a foul, musky odor, and others report hearing deep growls or loud wood knocking sounds believed to be its way of communicating. Bigfoot has been a part of Native American stories for centuries, often seen as a protector of the forest or a spiritual being. Modern sightings began to gain attention in the late 1950s when enormous footprints were discovered near Bluff Creek, California. This discovery led to the coining of the term Bigfoot and set off a wave of interest in the creature. The most famous evidence of Bigfoot is a 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film, which allegedly shows a large, hairy creature walking through the woods. While some people believe that the footage is undeniable proof of Bigfoot's existence, others argue that it's simply just a person in a costume. Reports of Bigfoot sightings aren't just limited to the Pacific Northwest. People from all over the United States and Canada have shared stories of encounters, with some even claiming that Bigfoot approached their homes or campsites. Witnesses often describe feelings of being watched while hiking or finding strange structures in the woods, like tree branches woven together in unnatural ways. Some campers have woken up to find their campsites ransacked, with heavy footprints left behind in the mud. While these encounters are often harmless, there are a few stories where people claim that Bigfoot displayed aggressive behavior. This behavior includes things like throwing rocks or growling loudly to scare them away. Despite countless sightings and alleged evidence such as hair samples, audio recordings, and footprints, no scientific proof of Bigfoot has ever been found. Skeptics believe most sightings are hoaxes or misidentified animals. Believers, on the other hand, argue that the vast wilderness of North America could easily hide a population of creatures like these. Whether Bigfoot is an undiscovered species, a relic from prehistoric times, or simply a cultural myth, the mystery continues to fascinate people from around the world. For many, the idea that such a creature could be lurking in the forests adds a sense of wonder and fear to the natural world. The Lochness Monster. The Lochness Monster, often called Nessie, is one of the most famous cryptids in the world. It is said to live in the deep waters of Loch Ness, which is a massive freshwater lake in Scotland. The monster is often depicted as a large, long-necked creature with a small head and humps that rise above the surface of the water. Some believe it resembles a plesiosaur, which is a prehistoric marine reptile. This has led to speculation that Nessie might be a surviving species from millions of years ago. Reports of strange creatures in Loch Ness date back to the 6th century, where St. Columba allegedly encountered a water beast in the River Ness. The modern legend of Nessie began in 1933. It all started when a couple driving along the lake claimed they saw a massive creature crossing the road in front of them before disappearing into the water. This sighting gained widespread attention, and more reports followed soon after. In 1934, the infamous surgeon's photograph was published, showing a dark feature with a long neck rising out of the water. This photograph became the most iconic image of the Lochness Monster, but it was then revealed decades later to be a hoax. Despite this, the legend of Nessie continued to grow, and Loch Ness became a hotspot for cryptid enthusiasts and tourists alike. Over the years, countless expeditions have been launched to uncover the truth about the Loch Ness Monster. Sonar scans of the loch have detected unexplained large objects moving beneath the surface, though no definitive evidence of Nessie has been found. In 2018, researchers conducted a DNA study of Loch Ness, analyzing samples from the water to identify every single living species in the ecosystem. While no evidence of prehistoric creatures was discovered, the study suggested that large eels might explain some of the sightings. However, many witnesses still insist that they've seen something far larger and stranger than just an eel. The Loch Ness Monster remains one of the most enduring mysteries in cryptid culture. The dark and deep lake itself adds to the fear surrounding Nessie. While skeptics argue that the sightings are misidentified animals, believers know that something truly extraordinary may still be lurking in the loch. The idea of an ancient creature surviving undetected in such a mysterious place continues to capture the imagination of people all over the world. The Wendigo. The Wendigo is a horrifying creature rooted in a Native American folklore, particularly among the Algonquin-speaking tribes. It is described as a skeletal figure with pale, decaying skin stretched tightly over its bones. In some versions of the legend, it has deer-like antlers or a head resembling a rotting stag, adding to its grotesque appearance. The Wendigo is said to embody hunger and greed, cursed to wander the frozen wilderness in search of human prey. What makes it especially frightening is the belief that anyone who resorts to cannibalism, even out of desperation, risks transforming into one of these monsters. The Wendigo is most commonly associated with the harsh winters of the northern United States and Canada, where isolation and starvation were historically real dangers for settlers and indigenous people alike. Legends say that the creature is born when someone consumes human flesh. The Wendigo is often described as having glowing eyes, razor-sharp teeth, and a very large appetite. Some accounts say it grows larger the more that it eats, making it an unstoppable predator in the wilderness. Encounters with the Wendigo are said to be marked by eerie signs, such as chilling winds, strange whispers in the forest, and a sense of dread that overwhelms those nearby. Hunters and hikers have reported hearing unnatural screams or seeing fleeting glimpses of a skeletal figure moving between the trees. In some cases, people claim to find animal bodies stripped clean of meat as if by a monstrous predator. These stories keep the Wendigo legend alive, warning people of the dangers of greed, isolation, and desperation. Whether the Wendigo is a metaphor for human savagery or an actual cryptid, its story has endured for centuries. The idea of a cursed, cannibalistic monster lurking in the frozen wilderness taps into primal fears of survival and isolation. It serves as a chilling reminder of the thin line between humanity and monstrosity when faced with desperation in the unforgiving wild. The Mothman. The Mothman is one of the most scary cryptids, often described as a humanoid figure with massive wings and glowing red eyes. Its story began in November 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where two couples reported being chased by a winged creature while driving near the TNT area. According to their accounts, the creature followed their car at incredible speeds, emitting an eerie screech. The witnesses described it as standing about 7 feet tall, with a wingspan of nearly 10 feet, and its glowing red eyes seeming to pierce through the darkness. Over the next year, dozens of sightings of the Mothman were reported in and out of Point Pleasant. Witnesses described its silent flight, terrifying appearance, and the overwhelming sense of dread they felt in its presence. Many claimed that it appeared near the homes or in desolate areas, watching from a distance. The Mothman seemed to be drawn to the TNT area, which was a place filled with old bunkers and overgrown forests. This added to its eerie reputation. Sightings continued to escalate, and people began to associate the creature with bad omens. The most famous connection to the Mothman is the Silver Bridge collapse of December 1967. This was a tragedy that claimed the lives of 46 people, and in the days leading up to the disaster, several witnesses reported seeing the Mothman near the bridge or flying over the river. This led many to believe that the creature was a bringer of doom that appeared as a warning before catastrophic events. While skeptics argue that the Mothman sightings were just misidentified birds, the creature's link to the tragedy has cemented its status as a cryptid tied to fear and misfortune. Even after the events in Point Pleasant, the legend of the Mothman has endured. Sightings have been reported in other parts of the world, often near disaster sites or places of great emotional intensity. Some theorists believe that the Mothman is an interdimensional being, a paranormal entity, or maybe even an alien. Its glowing red eyes, silent flight, and association with tragedy make it one of the most terrifying cryptids in modern folklore. For those who believe in the Mothman, its appearance is not just a sighting, but a warning of something far worse to come. The Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is one of America's most scary cryptids that is said to haunt the shadowy pine barrens of New Jersey. It is described as having the head of a goat or horse, bat-like wings, sharp claws, hooves, and a long snake-like tail. Its blood-curdling screams have been reported echoing through the forest, chilling the hearts of those who hear them. Legend traces back to the 1700s with the story of Deborah Leeds. Deborah was a woman who is said to have cursed her 13th child, which was born as a monstrous creature. According to the tale, the child transformed into a beast moments after birth, killing its mother and then escaping into the Pine Barrens, where it has lived ever since. The Jersey Devil gained widespread attention during what is now known as the Week of Terror in January 1909. Over the course of several days, hundreds of people across New Jersey and Pennsylvania reported sightings of a strange flying creature. Police officers claimed to see it attacking livestock, while others found mysterious hoof prints in the snow. Newspapers of the time documented the hysteria, with some even offering rewards for the capture of the beast. This mass panic solidified the Jersey Devil as a creature of fear and fascination. To this day, sightings of the Jersey Devil continue. These sightings involve reports of strange footprints, eerie cries, and glimpses of a winged figure in the dark. Hunters, hikers, and locals tell stories of unexplained encounters, often describing an overwhelming sense of dread when they feel that the creature is nearby. While skeptics attribute the sightings to misidentified animals or local folklore passed down through generations, believers argue that the consistency of the descriptions point to something more. Whether the Jersey Devil is a cursed being, an undiscovered species, or a figment of the imagination, its legend remains deeply rooted in the eerie forests of New Jersey. The Chupacabra. The Chupacabra, whose name means goat sucker in Spanish, is a cryptid feared for its gruesome attacks on livestock. First reported in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, the Chupacabra is said to leave its victims completely drained of blood with puncture wounds on their necks. Many accounts depict it as a reptilian beast about the size of a small bear with spines or quills running down its back, glowing red or green eyes, and sharp claws. In other accounts, particularly from Texas and Mexico, the Chupacabra is described as more dog-like, often hairless, with gray, leathery skin. The legend began in 1995 when a series of livestock deaths in Puerto Rico sparked panic. Farmers found goats, chickens, and other animals lifeless, with strange marks on their necks and their blood seemingly drained. A woman named Madeline Tolentino claims to have seen the creature, describing it as a bipedal being with large eyes and a row of spines down its back. Her account, coupled with the bizarre livestock deaths, spread quickly, and reports of similar attacks began to surface across Latin America. Sightings of the Chupacabra expanded into the southern United States in the early 2000s, with ranchers reporting mutilated cattle and strange, dog-like creatures roaming their properties. Some even captured what they believed to be chupacabras, though many were later identified as coyotes or other animals with severe mange. Despite these explanations, the legend persists, fueled by the sheer volume of sightings and the consistency of the creature's terrifying behavior. What makes this being so chilling is its predatory nature and the violent aftermath it leaves behind. Whether it is a supernatural being, an undiscovered predator, or a misunderstood natural phenomenon, the chupacabra has become a symbol of fear in rural communities. Its nocturnal attacks, grotesque appearance, and mysterious origins make it one of the most frightening cryptids in modern history. The Dover Demon. The Dover Demon is a cryptid known for its brief but unsettling appearances in Dover, Massachusetts during 3 consecutive nights in April 1977. It is described as a small, pale humanoid with a large, bulbous head, glowing orange eyes, and long, thin limbs. The creature's smooth, hairless skin and lack of facial features give it an alien-like appearance. Unlike many cryptids tied to folklore or ancient legends, the Dover Demon story is entirely modern, leaving its origins shrouded in mystery. The first sighting occurred on the night of April 21st, 1977, when 17-year-old Bill Bartlett was driving with friends along Farm Street. Bartlett claimed to see a strange figure perched on a stone wall. He described it as having an oversized head, thin limbs, and glowing eyes that seemed to stare directly at him. Bartlett's account was followed by 2 more sightings within 24 hours, each from different individuals who had no connection to one another. One witness, John Baxter, reported encountering the creature while walking through the woods late at night. He described a similar pale humanoid figure with spiny fingers gripping a tree. Despite its small stature, which is estimated only to be about 3 to 4 feet tall, the Dover Demon's appearance left witnesses deeply unnerved. The lack of any known animal or humanoid creature matching its description led to widespread speculation. Some suggested that it might be an alien, or just a being from another dimension, or even an undiscovered species. Others thought it could be a juvenile cryptid, such as a small Bigfoot-like creature, though its smooth skin doesn't align with most cryptid sightings. The Dover Demon has not been seen since those 3 nights in 1977, making it one of the most crazy cryptids in history. Skeptics argue that the sightings could have been misidentifications of local wildlife, such as maybe an owl or a baby moose. The fact that all three witnesses provided similar descriptions, despite their differing circumstances, adds a good amount of credibility to the story. What makes the Dover Demon so terrifying is its eerie, otherworldly appearance and the fleeting nature of its encounters. The Flatwoods Monster. The Flatwoods Monster is a terrifying cryptid associated with a single extraordinary event in Flatwoods, West Virginia on the evening of September 12, 1952. Described as a towering humanoid figure with a spade-shaped head, glowing green or orange eyes, and a metallic body, this creature has remained one of the most chilling cryptid stories. Witnesses also reported that it emitted an overwhelming odor and that its presence was accompanied by strange sounds and glowing lights. The story began when a group of local boys saw a bright, glowing object streak across the sky and land on a nearby farm. Thinking it was a meteorite, they ran to investigate, accompanied by a woman named Kathleen May. As they approached the site, they saw what appeared to be a large mechanical figure hovering or gliding above the ground. This creature had a metallic skirt-like lower body and claw-like fingers with glowing eyes set in a helmet-like structure. The witnesses described a horrifying hissing noise and an intense nauseating smell that made it difficult to stay near the site for long. The encounter left the group terrified, and they quickly reported the incident to local authorities. Investigators arrived at the scene and noted unusual skid marks and signs of heat damage to the vegetation, but the creature itself was gone. This led to widespread media coverage, with many speculating that the monster was either an alien or some kind of experimental military technology. The United States Air Force even included the sighting in its official UFO investigation, Project Blue Book, though no conclusive explanation was ever provided. In the years that followed, skeptics suggested that the witnesses may have seen a barn owl perched on a tree branch. However, this explanation fails to account for the glowing object in the sky, the metallic appearance, or the overwhelming stench described by the witnesses. Other theories range from an extraterrestrial spacecraft landing to a cryptid of unknown origin that only appeared in Flatwoods on that fateful night. The Flatwoods Monster stands out among cryptic legends because of its robotic or mechanical characteristics, setting it apart from more organic creatures like Bigfoot or the Mothman. Its otherworldly description, combined with the eyewitnesses' fear and physical reactions, make it a deeply unsettling case. While it has not been seen since, the legend of the Flatwoods Monster continues to inspire fear and fascination, which keeps the story alive in cryptid tales. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.